everyone, welcome to our second video on two-point perspective. Today we are going to be learning how to create a block house using two-point perspective. So the tools we're going to need is a sharpener, a pencil, an HB pencil is fine, a ruler, paper, a black pen to outline, and an eraser. So let's get started. We are going to start off by creating a horizontal line across our page as usual. Let's write down our title first, 2-point perspective blockhouse. Now we're using the same exact methods we've been using from the previous videos that we've been watching. We are going to make sure that all lines are parallel. I'm going to place my ruler somewhere above our midline, just slightly above, and I'm going to make sure my lines are parallel to the edge of the page and draw a nice line across. Now, since we're working with 2 points of perspective, we are going to create 2 vanishing points. This vanishing point, we'll label it as VPL, or our left vanishing point, and then the one on the right obviously will be VP and then R. So now we can choose a space to dedicate to create our house. We'll draw it right in the middle. So the first thing we're going to draw is the height of our building. So you're going to mark out, maybe let's do 10 centimeters, place it right in the middle, making sure that it is parallel, and draw our line down. Now that we've done that, we know that everything on the right will join the right vanishing point. So I am going to place my ruler right at the point and the vanishing point and draw my line down. Do the same thing on the other side. Draw my lines nice and lightly. These are all constructive lines, so we need to make sure that they are light. The left side will obviously join into the left vanishing point as well. Placing my ruler, drawing it down, then placing my ruler at the bottom and joining our last corner. And there we go. Now that we've created the overall structure of our building, we are going to close off the building itself and create a side to it. So I'm going to look at my ruler and choose maybe 8 centimeters. So I'm going to make sure my ruler aligns with 8 centimeters along the bottom line, top line, whichever line. We're going to mark out the 8 centimeters. Do the same thing on the other side. Place my ruler, make sure it's nice and even on the line. Mark out 8 centimeters. Alright, now we're going to close our building off. We're just going to place our ruler here and slide it across, making sure that it is parallel. So it's not going to be like that. We need to make sure that we're observing. We need to adjust it a little bit. Always keeping our eyes and comparing to the side of the page. Draw our line down, and we're going to do the same thing for the other side. Place my ruler on another vertical line and draw our lines across. So I need to make sure again that the lines are parallel, adjust it accordingly, and then draw my line down. So I'm just going to go ahead and erase the lines that we don't need that cross into the face of our building, and you should start to see our overall structure forming. Now it's going to be a block house, so we don't have sharp roofs or anything, we just have a block with windows and doors. So on this side, on our right side, we are going to create a door and a window. So the first thing, of course, let's start with a door. We are going to be drawing the height of the door. So I'm going to place my ruler and find a good measurement that I'd like to work with. Looks like 7 centimeters is fine for the height. I'm going to, of course, place my ruler, making sure it's parallel, draw my line down. Now we only have one corner to join because the bottom one already joins into the vanishing point. So I'm just going to place my ruler, join it into the vanishing point, while making sure that the pressure that we're applying on the pencil is as light as possible. Now we can go ahead and choose a width of our door. We could do 4 centimeters, that's fine. I'm going to place my ruler on this line, the bottom of the door, mark out, we'll do 3 centimeters. So we have a little bit of space to create our window. Place our ruler, glide it along, making sure it's parallel to the other vertical lines. Don't do that, please. Shift our ruler accordingly, making sure it's even, and I'm going to draw my line down. Completing a very basic door on the side of the building. Go ahead and erase this line. It's good to erase while we're working, and that is why I've been asking all of you to use a very light pencil line, because if you press really hard on your pencils, regardless of how hard you erase, the line is going to show. This is the space I'm going to create my window. Of course, we always start with the height of the window, so I'm going to leave some space, and we're going to draw the height of the window a little bit taller than the door, or higher than the door. So I'm going to place my ruler, draw my line down, just 4 centimeters for the height of the window. Then I'm going to join each corner into the vanishing point. So this one's going to join to the vanishing point. Bottom of my window is going to join into the vanishing point. And as you guessed it, we are now going to find the overall, or close our window up so that it doesn't wrap around our building. Just going to place my ruler and eyeball this, glide it along, and then just close off this window over here. And there we have it, a door and a window. Erase off the little lines that you don't need, the constructive lines that you don't need. And there we have it, one side of our building complete. Now for the next side of our building, I'm actually going to create a really big window with a windowsill. So from the inside, we can see that there's a little bit of depth. It's a little bit confusing at first, but I am confident that you'll all be able to do this. The height of the window, we are going to make it a little bit larger. So I'm going to just make sure that maybe the window starts with the same increment as the other side where the door starts. We'll leave a nice space. It's around 8.6 centimeters. You don't have to be too accurate, but we are going to now place our line. I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. So I'm going to draw my line down, and then each corner is going to join into the vanishing point. Of course, it'll join to the left vanishing point. And that corner will join into the left vanishing point as well. We're going to close off our window, keeping our lines nice and parallel. We're going to draw a nice line down to create our massive window. Now, we are going to draw a windowsill, and that's going to go inside our window or the page itself. In this case, that corner is going to join the right vanishing point. How do we do this? All right, so let's place our ruler down. I'm going to shift this a little bit so you can all see. This tiny corner over here, we're going to draw maybe 1 centimeter in while joining the right vanishing point. This is so that we create depth within our window. Now with this tiny corner that we've created, we are going to join it into the left vanishing point. We're going to stretch this line all the way into the side of our window, and you can see we've created a nice windowsill or a little seating area behind the mirror. Now all we have to do is draw the line upwards to finish off the side or the depth of our window. That's exactly what we're going to do. Place our ruler, making sure it is vertical with parallel with other vertical lines. And there we have it. We could actually see the top as well. So this corner is going to join the right vanishing point. This is because our building is above the horizontal line. So remember, anything that's above, we can usually see either, we could basically see the bottom. So we have to make sure that we can see the ceiling. So that tiny corner will join into the vanishing point on the left. And we're going to just join this line all the way to the end. And there we have it. I'm just going to erase this line because we don't need it. We've got ourselves a little windowsill. It is as easy as that. I'm going to repeat that on my window that's on the right side of the building. I'm going to do the exact same thing but with different measurements. So go ahead by yourselves, try to follow the way that I'm doing it. You always start with the side, making sure that it's joining on the other side of the vanishing point. And then we're going to just make sure that we draw our line joining the right vanishing point, draw our line up, because we can see the bottom, that corner is going to join into the other vanishing point with this corner into this vanishing point. And there we go. Okay, so we've created two windows with depth. For the door, you can just create a little door handle like this. You could create this into an archway if you'd like to, but we will stick to creating just a flat door for this one. I'm actually going to add a little bit of a pavement just by drawing the line downwards from the vanishing point, and I'm going to cross it over from this side just so that our house is sitting on some sort of a pavement. And how good does that look, everybody? We've completed our block house. We just need to outline it now. I'm just going to zoom through everything. When you outline your work, please make sure that you keep your hands nice and still on the ruler. Draw the line down once. It's nice to use a ballpoint pen for this one because the inky pens might leak through the ruler, and then when you move your ruler you get all these smudges all over your work. With perspective drawings, we need to make sure that we keep our hands as still as possible and our lines as neat as possible so that our work can be to the best of our abilities. I always tell my students that you have to be super OCD with this project because all corners have to meet and all lines have to be pretty much perfectly parallel to one another so that we can create a realistic drawing. So I've gone ahead and also outlined my pavement and the horizontal line so it looks like my building is sitting on something rather than floating. And now I'm just going to erase off pencil lines that I can see so that we are ready to shade in our work. With perspective drawings in general, to me, they just look a lot better when we shade it in rather than color it in. So I am going to shade in our work for this project. Now, keep in mind that the further the building goes into the distance, that's usually the darker corner. So I'm just going to go ahead and start shading throughout all of my building, keeping in mind of the direction of light, making sure that the depth is darker, and working through all of the entire spaces that I have. Now for these finishing touches, I'm also going to shade in my pavement, just roughly. And why not? Let's just put reflections on our window so that it looks like there is glass. I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side over here, but in the other direction so that we have reflections. There we have it, our 2-point perspective block house. I hope you learned something new. See you all in the next video.